Hey guys, right. I'm doing this video today because I came across a video on YouTube from a person that a lot of people probably know. Um, Sinead O'Connor, the singer. I don't really know much about her career or anything like that particularly, but the video that I watched was from 2017, and the emotions that she was, I understand all too well. I know how it feels to be judged when you're angry and when you're upset because people either don't listen to you, they don't take you seriously, or they just don't care. And I know how upsetting that can be. I know how upsetting it can be when the people that are supposed to love you unconditionally love you with conditions. Conditions that you don't get angry, conditions that you don't get upset, conditions that you only do what makes them happy. But at what cost? The cost is your own happiness. Everyone has a right to be happy. Everyone is allowed to be happy. But at the same time, everyone's also allowed to be angry. They're also allowed to be sad, and they're also allowed to be upset. There's nothing wrong with getting angry. There's nothing wrong with shouting when you're angry at someone. It's human nature. It's natural to get angry. Love is meant to be unconditional. Love also means taking it when a person shouts at you. If someone is angry at you, even to the point where, man, they feel like they want to kill you at that time, right? If you really love that person, you're gonna let them. You're gonna let them get that off their chest. You're gonna let them shout at you, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna let them do it. And the reason why is because when you still stand by them even after doing that, they know you love them. You can't find happiness if you don't go through the storm. That's part of life. You cannot find love if you can't take a person at their worst. Love isn't just about what you love as an individual. Love is a shared feeling, it's a shared emotion. Love is unconditional. I don't work. I'm 25 years old. I don't work. When people tell me that I should get a job, my reply is I'm not into paid slavery. Because in my eyes, working is paid slavery. And not just that, it takes you away from the most important things in your life. And that's the people in your life, your family, your friends, the people you care about, the people you love, the people you support, and the people who support you. They're more important than some stupid job for some stupid CEO for some stupid company. Money is like, in my opinion, money is like the devil. It corrupts. It corrupts your heart, it corrupts your mind, and it corrupts your soul. The more money you've got, yeah, well, man, you can buy all the sort of stuff. But, like, with money, you can buy a fancy house. With money, you can buy a fancy car, fancy watch, fancy phone. But without anyone to share all that with, it's all meaningless. It's junk. It's crap. I would rather spend years on the streets with someone I love than spend years working for money and having no one to share it with. Like, I get angry. I get angry a lot. Like, there's a lot of things that get me angry. When someone shouts at my mum, that angers me. That gets me angry. No one shouts at my mum unless it's me. But even then, like, the reason why I'm laughing right now is because my mum just looked at me and she was kind of like shocked to hear me say that. But, like, I don't really get angry at my mum because I know my mum tries her best, even with her mental health issues and her emotional issues and even her physical issues. She still tries her best. My mum's one thing that she would want in her life is for all her kids to get along and to be a family. But yet, because of things that are out of our control, because of social services and law and all this meaningless, pointless crap, right? We've all got a different point of view and a different perspective on the meaning of the word family. Now, there's a lot of words in the dictionary. That's a fact. There's a lot of words in the dictionary. But one of the things, like, I want to focus on more is family. What is family really? Family are the ones that are there for you when you're sad. They're there to comfort you when you're in pain, whether it's emotional, mental, or even physical. Family are the ones that are meant to know the right path to take in life. There are millions of people on this planet, billions of people. I don't know specifically up to date, but I know that there's roughly 7.5 billion people on this planet, and yet there's all this conflict of politics, conflict of religion. We have law enforcement who are there to serve the public, but yet they don't serve the public. They serve the government. And the truth is, right, we live in a world where politicians believe they have the control, or at least they want to believe they have control. But the truth is, politicians are trained to bullshit. They are trained to tell lies and convince you they're telling the truth. That's their job. Their job is to make you believe what they're telling is true. And it's lies. More often than not, all they care about is the money. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the families who are struggling or anything like that. They just care about their polls. They care about their money. They care about their job. They don't care about other people. And the more this world progresses, the more life just seems to be more about just trying to survive than it is about really living. It's like in a family, you've got a mum, you've got a dad, you've got brothers and sisters. Families are like community in some way, together to be there to help each other. What's the old saying? Two heads are better than one. And one is like the loneliest number you can ever do. Like, there's millions of songs out there that basically state that being alone is one of the worst feelings in the world. Being isolated from family, isolated from friends, isolated from people who are meant to care. And yeah, it hurts. Like I don't really care about being negative or positive. Right? I don't really care if I'm a negative person or a positive person. Sometimes I'm negative, sometimes I'm positive. But more often than not, I'm hurt. Right? On the inside, I'm hurt. On the outside, I make it almost look like nothing gets to me. Well, obviously things get to me. If they didn't, I wouldn't get angry. I'd just let it blow over my head like it wasn't even happening. Mental health issues and stuff like that aren't so much a problem. The problem is more to do with society than it is others. It's fear. Anger is also a form of fear. Fear of losing someone you care about can make you angry. Fear of rejection can make a person angry. But not just that. When you're scared, it also means you're about to do something brave. Because you can't be brave if you're not scared. But at the same time, you also have to slow down and analyze the situation before you react to it. And I don't normally do that. I don't normally slow down, analyze the situation before I react. I just react. If someone shouts at my mum, I'm going to shout back at them. No one has the right to shout at my mum. Even when it comes to my brothers and sisters, anyone upsets my mum, and I'm going to defend it. Even if it's me that upsets her, I defend my mum against myself. Family is a very important thing. But in this world, it's getting harder and harder to really know who your family really is. Because doctors lie, governments lie, even the police force lie. The law is corrupt. The system is broken. In every country in the world, governments care more about money. They're exploiting every single person out there. They're exploiting children, teenagers, and adults, all for money. And that's fact. You see it everywhere. Like, come on. Like, in life, death is a natural thing. It should be embraced. If you look back in history, and I mean way back, I'm talking about like women when knights rode on horses and kings and queens were in control, and before governments were even a thing, before politics was even a thing. If you look at all the sort of historically fictional but somewhat realistic movies like Vikings and women Norsemen and stuff like that, like there's a basis of truth. There's a basis of reality and there's a basis of truth. And the truth is, yes, people get angry, people get upset, people get emotional. And you're allowed to react to it. If you're angry, you have the right to display that anger. Whether another person likes it or not, you have that right to get angry. If you feel angry, let it out. If you feel upset and want to cry, let it out. Don't hold it in. Because to hold it in is to lie to yourself and to lie to everyone else. No one likes lies, apart from politicians. They live on that stuff. Like, they love lies. Politicians, women, they literally destroy their own souls just to become politicians. They destroy their heart, they destroy their soul to the point where you can't really class them as human. Like, yeah, people get angry, people get upset, but violence doesn't solve anything. Killing another person doesn't solve anything. If anything, it's another band-aid. It's another crutch. It's like when you're angry at someone and when you hit them, right? Yeah, it can be satisfying for a little bit until regret kicks in, or until like another feeling kicks in or emotion kicks in where you feel bad for doing it. But governments have to take people's lives more seriously. There are a lot of people out there that treat people like property, and they're allowed to keep their kids. They're allowed to do whatever they want and get away with it. Like, there's a lot of mothers and fathers out there that try their hardest to love, protect, and care for their kids. And yet, kids can pull the wool over their parents' eyes very easily because love makes you blind. It does. Love makes you blind to the person's flaws, the person's faults. Well, yeah, it's good to know that there's things that you need to change about yourself. Like for me, I want to try and get a better control over my anger. I don't exactly know how to do that, but I try. So I try to do my music, and most of the time, I don't even do it for myself because I don't really care about myself. I don't care if I live. I don't care if I die. Like, I know that I'm gonna die someday anyway. So what's the point in worrying about it? What's the point in crying about it? I know it's gonna happen someday. Either either I'll die of cancer, or I will die by getting hit by a bus, or by getting hit by a car, or someone will stab me because they don't like me, or women I'll get shot because women someone doesn't agree with me, or they're offended by me, or they're threatened by me. Like, there's so many possible possibilities of how I will die. Personally, I would rather be able to die when with family, with friends, by my side. When I'm old, grey, and women have like loads of kids and women near enough a full football team of children. Like, I don't care about money, right? Like, money isn't something I care about. Like, yeah, because of governments, we need money. We need money in order to live because we need money to buy food, we need money to buy gas and electric and all this other sort of stuff that we need now. But in reality, if people weren't buying all that stuff, if people weren't buying that stuff, they'd have no control. Governments only have control because they're providing you with necessities that you want, that you need. They're getting companies to create stuff to get your interest, to make you think, oh, I need that in my life. I need this, I need that. They exploit people's selfish natures, their selfish parts of them, the parts that are greedy, the parts that women care more about what you want as a person more than your needs. Emotional connection is a need. It's not a want, it's a need. If you look at animals, right? If you look at our cousins, apes, they are distant cousins. When humanity, goes extinct, they are taking over. They will be the next human being through evolution. They will learn from us. And then when we die, they will become us. But if you look at them and the way they live their lives, do you see them needing phones? No. Do you see them, women, hurting each other? No. Like, yeah, the alpha males fight to women for leadership, but also the alpha males don't just fight for leadership, but also the right to mate with the females. And most often, all the children that apes have, most of them don't even come from the alpha, because the other males in the group, women sneak a quick women get go, if you understand what I mean. But all in all, it's not okay to really upset another person. It's not really okay to really hurt another person. But if you're angry at someone, it's their responsibility to let you get it off your chest. It's their responsibility to sit there and let you shout at them. It's their responsibility to let you ventilate. And then it's their responsibility to then turn and tell you they forgive you and that they're sorry they've not been paying attention. They're sorry that they've not really had the time because of work, because of women earning money, because their boss is being a dick and they want to go and punch their boss in the face, because women, their boss is a controlling piece of shit. Most often than not, your work life affects your home life. That's the reality. Your work life affects your home life, and your home life suffers. Mom, you're not dying, you're just getting old and you're all in pain because doctors lied to you all your life. Children growing up, right? Children growing up grow up with growth pains, right? They feel pain when they're asleep. That is a fact. Children feel pain when they're asleep. It's growing pains that they feel. And growing pains aren't exactly a big deal. They're not a huge deal. Like, yeah, like, I'm not the best son in the world, and I know that. Right? I'm not the best son in the world. I'm not perfect. I'm probably like the last person to be given advice because, like, growing up, I've been given a lot of people advice, and half the time they say it's good advice, but yet I can never really take my own advice. Because when I try and take my own advice, other things end up messing it up. Like, I have tried loving people. I have tried loving life. I have tried being happy. And it's not possible. Like, yeah, it's possible to smile, but most of the time people are only smiling for the ones that are around them. On the inside, they're crying and breaking down, and on the outside, they smile. And most of the time, that's diagnosed as depression. But what is depression really? It's just another term for loneliness, really. It's inner turmoil, feeling like no one understands you, no one gets you, no one knows what you're going through. That no one cares. But the reason why no one cares is because they're too focused on earning money. Half of the time, people are too focused on earning money because their bosses are threatening to fire them. Obviously, you're not going to be able to focus on your family if you're focusing on work. For as long as you're focusing on your job, you're losing your family. And if you're focusing on your family, you're going to lose your job. And that's a part of life. It's hard to juggle your work life and your family life. I don't work, right? But I know the struggles. I know the struggles of women seeing how people's families are like. I've seen a lot of families struggling to make ends meet because of all these bills that need paid. Bills that in reality are pointless and meaningless, by the way. We live in a world where the few rule over the many. But the truth is, like, your basic needs, the things that you need that are important, food, shelter, clothing, warmth, love, and family and friends. All 7 of those categories are the most important parts of life. But not just that. Your family and your friends have to also meet each other, get to know each other, become family. Because friends are just family that have an outside point of view. Most of the time, people view their friends as family and their families as strangers because their families don't know them, they don't understand. But that's because women, they've got problems too. Everyone has problems. Everyone has something that they're struggling with, whether it's their emotions, whether it's their feelings, whether it's their attitudes, their behaviors. But no one has the right to tell you what to do. No one has the right to boss you around and push you around and tell you what to do, especially governments. They, of all, have no right to tell you what to do or how to live your life. Your life is there for you to live and enjoy the best you can. The truth is, governments are no longer important, and they know it. They know that they're a problem. Governments know that they are the problem. It's not the public. It's not the general public. It's the governments that are the problem. That's the truth. Governments believe they have the control because they have armies and police officers to do their bidding. But the real truth is the power lies in the public. That's where the power really lies. It's in the public, not the government. The government are meant to do what the public demand. That's where the whole term of supply and demand come from. The public demand, the government supply. That's the way it's meant to work, but it seems more like the government demand and the public supply. And that's what I've noticed. I've noticed that governments are controlling people. They're not physically grabbing people and forcing them, but they're doing it in subtle little ways. They use the internet. They use the internet to see what people are discussing, what people are talking about, issues, problems that people are talking about and facing, and then they use that to their advantage. That's what they do. They use things that people find personally meaningful to them. They use things that are emotionally personal. The like I don't know much about the music industry or even the entertainment industry, but yet so far all I've noticed is that in the music industry and entertainment industry, there's a lot of child abuse, children being hired by the industries and then being abused by producers and all sorts, being controlled, manipulated to the point where women they believe that the acting that they're doing is actually real life. A lot of actors, a lot of actors have mental health issues purely because when it comes to rehearsing for parts that they're going to play in movies, to get it as real as possible, the actors literally live months of their life being that person that they're going to end up acting as. And that can cause a lot of mental health issues because they're not being themselves. They're being other people, other personality traits. They're not being their unique individual self. They're being trained like training a monkey or training a dog. If you leave a dog untrained, its true personality will show. Excitement, enthusiasm. Children, when they're going to school, do you really think they want to go to school? Half of the kids that I knew growing up, they didn't want to go to school. They were forced by their parents because women parents spend money. Governments issue money and people spend it. Governments create money and then people spend money to buy things that they want, to buy things they need. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in any form of religion. I can't believe in a God because my understanding of God is that God is like love. It comes free. God is like the type of person that if he sees you starving on the street, he's going to hand you food and ask for nothing in return. If God sees you pining over women something you want, he would go out of his way just to get it for you and ask for nothing in return. That's my idea of God. God gives for free and asks for nothing in return. All he would want is your love, your kindness, your consideration, your understanding of life. On a religious point of view, if God and the devil are real, God wouldn't charge you for gas. He wouldn't charge you for electric. He wouldn't charge you for a roof over your head. And he certainly wouldn't charge you for food. And he certainly would not require you to work for it. He'd just provide it. The devil, on the other hand, the devil would charge you for everything and hold you personally accountable as well for everything. So if you really want to see what the devil looks like, look at your closest government. Look at your closest politicians. Look at the lies and the deceit that they have spread for years and years. Governments lying to kings and queens. If you really want a world of peace, you need to pierce the bubble of lies. That's the reality. Get to the bottom of the problem. I'm not a genius. I'm not even that intelligent. I didn't stick in at school. I didn't care for it. I didn't like. I enjoyed it in some ways, but didn't like it in others. I was bullied throughout primary school, picked on, pushed around. I was even bullied for stuff that my parents had done. I was even shunned by my own family. Cast aside like I didn't matter. Like my life didn't matter. Like my feelings didn't matter. So I know how it feels to be pushed away and rejected by the people that aren't meant to push you away. Your family's meant to love and care about you, not push you away. It's like I know for a fact that if I had children and my children stole money from me, I'd forgive them for it. And then I'd turn and tell them, you should have just asked for it. And if I've got it, I'll give you it. Because if I was a dad, I would do everything I could just so my child would be happy. And if anyone was to hurt my child, I'm not going to hesitate to hurt them. If a grown man was to hurt my child, he'd be lucky if he survived after I finished with him. And that's me being honest. If a child abuser was to abuse my child, I'd most likely chop the guy's head off without hesitation. Because the world would be a better place without pedophiles. It'd be a better place without rapists, murderers. Like, obviously, like, I probably wouldn't chop their head off because that would make me a murderer. But at the same time, there is no right or wrong way to live your life. If you want to work, then work. If you don't want to work, don't work. You don't have to. You don't have to do something you don't want to do. Don't let peer pressure control you. If you don't want to take drugs, don't take drugs. Drugs will ruin your life more than help it. Like, yeah, drugs can sometimes be fun, but even fun can sometimes be bad. Some people have fun just going to the pictures with friends. Some people have fun just walking on the beach and talking to someone. Anything that puts a smile on your face is guaranteed to be fun. It's guaranteed to be enjoyment. And it's guaranteed to be worth it. But anything that hurts you mentally or emotionally, those things should be best avoided. Politics should be avoided at all costs. Governments should be cast aside because they're doing it all wrong. The entertainment industry should be shut down for one thing because it's exploitation. They care only about the money that they're getting. Most businesses and companies care more about the money that they're getting than the lives of the people that they're ruining. If you really want to care for children all around the world, then stop letting people control you. Because the fact is, everyone dies in time anyway. Everyone dies eventually. No one lives forever. So if you want to make a change and you want to make a stand, then make a change and make a stand. If you want to see change happen for the quality of other people and the well-being of other people, then make a stand. Make a change. Stop letting governments that are compulsive liars control you and control your life, control your very family. And if you really think about it, right? Years and years and years and years and years ago, even to this day, there are still people out there that believe that the world is flat. And yet, you also have people out there that also believes that the world is round. In some ways, they're both correct. The world is flat and the world is round. They're both correct. And the reason why I say they're both correct is because if you look at a ball, any type of ball, you see a circle, you see a ball. Like, obviously, this ball is kind of broken, but I'll get another one. This one's not broken. Not just that, right? With this ball that I'm holding, as you can see, it has a white side and it has a blue side. Now, in some way, even that right there could be a planet. Like, obviously, it's not a planet, but if you use your imagination, even that could be a planet. And there's also two dimensions. 1, 2. If you look at just the blue side, that's one dimension. In some form, it is a dimension. And not just that, if you draw a ball on a piece of paper, you start off with just a circle. That makes it flat. That makes the ball flat. To start off, like, if you're going to draw the earth on a piece of paper, you have to start off with a circle first. That makes it flat. With any drawing, you have to start with the outline first. Then you fill in the details. Like, that's basically the way I do it anyway. And probably others out there too. They draw the outline first, then fill in the details. So everything can start off flat. Build up on it and it can be more. If you want to see someone succeed in life, you help them along. You support them. You help them. If you want to see someone fail in life, you go against them. You fight them. I don't care for success because I'm already successful. I don't need money to tell me that I'm successful. I don't need other people to tell me if I'm successful. I'm already successful. I have lived 25 years of my life being bullied, pushed around, kicked around. Being called names that women have made me feel suicidal. I've had people, women, calling me things that aren't true. Arrested for things that women I had to do in order to women get by in life. I had to steal things that I wanted because I couldn't afford it. Just like a lot of other people. Just because you steal it doesn't make you a criminal. And I don't care what the law says. The law is wrong anyway. If anything, the law is the biggest crime of all because it's unjustified. The law is more corrupt than anything else in life. If you really want to see the problems in the world, look at the people that are meant to be defending it. Governments, politicians, armed forces, and police officers. Their job is a neutral party. Neutral, meaning they're neither negative nor positive. They're a neutral, meaning their job is simply to protect this earth and its inhabitants, not to get rich. That's not their job. Their job is to protect people, animals, and the earth, and put their life on the line to do so. If they're not doing that, they're failing at their job. They're failing at their duty, and they're failing at their responsibility. And that is fact. Say if aliens did exist, or do exist, and they came to this planet to destroy this earth, our primitive weapons that we have aren't going to stop them. Our technology isn't going to stop them. If they were hostile, we're fucked. And yes, I swore. But it's true. We will be screwed. If a meteorite asteroid field came plummeting towards our planet, we're screwed. Because we're too busy fighting amongst ourselves. Still fighting fire with fire. And you want to know something about fire brigades? Firefighters. They know the best way to put out a fire is with water. So what's the best way to beat a bullet? You create a shield that can deflect it. Me, I would rather be a shield than a gun. I would rather die for someone I care for than die for myself. And not just that. If I was smart and intelligent and I knew the truth, I wouldn't hesitate to tell it. If I was a government official, I wouldn't lie to the people that I'm governing. I wouldn't lie to them. I'd tell them the straight up truth. I wouldn't create a medical team in it and a law enforcement and women get the doctors to analyze and assess people, get inside their heads and plant seeds of, oh, you have depression, oh, you have psychotic schizophrenia, or this or that. Because that's just labels. Labeling something doesn't make it true. Just because you label a bottle of shampoo doesn't mean that the ingredients that are supposedly in it are actually in it. It's like coffee, right? It's like tea and coffee. Even that can be a source of fucking life in some way. Because there's a lot of people that drink coffee and there's a lot of people that drink tea. And there's a lot of people that drink both. Me, I drink tea and coffee. I drink tea, I drink coffee. Women, I sometimes drink alcohol. I sometimes smoke weed. Women, like, yeah, just because I take drugs doesn't make me less of a human. Doesn't make me less than other people. I already know where I come from. I come from Earth. I come from the dirt and the shit of society. I come from nothing. Just like all walks of life. You first start with nothing and you build up on it. Even in DNA, you can see it. It's like you can start off with one cell and it divides into two cells and then divides again into 4 cells or 3 cells. Like, whatever, like, even blood multiply. Cells multiply. People multiply. It's like I'm also going to defend animals right now as well, right? Because there's a lot of animals and a lot of pets out there that get snipped and they get their like bits all done, so then they can't produce, they can't have babies. How do you think you would feel if your parents did that to you? Seriously, whether you've got kids or not, think about it. How would you feel if the people that you love and care about decided to get you a vasectomy or got your tubes tied without your permission? How do you think you would feel? Having that option of having a child taken away from you. There are a lot of people out there that want kids and can't have kids. And there's a lot of people out there that have kids and don't want them. Children are not a want or a need, but they are a priority. Social services do not care about your children. They don't care if your children go into an abusive home or into a loving home. They don't care. As long as that child is being fed, clothed, and sheltered. As long as children are getting those 3 basic essentials and they're going to school and all that sort of stuff, they don't care. They don't care about the rest. They don't care about their mental well-being, their emotional well-being. And not just that, they lie to your children. From the moment they take your child out of your care, they brainwash your children into making you look like the bad person. I know from personal experience. I was raised in the care system. I was brought up in care. Just because my mum has mental health issues doesn't make her less of a mum. I was put in care because I was abused as a child. And I will name and shame the person who abused me. His name was Michael Duffy. A lot of people might know him. I can even tell you exactly how he abused me. The way that he abused me was when I was 9 years old. Me and my mum and my brother, we were all staying in this scatter flat in Glenrothes behind St Ninian's Church. I can't remember the address specifically. I remember the location of the house, like I know exactly where it is. And he was fixing my mum's TV, setting up the VCR and all that sort of stuff, basically just helping my mum because she was going out with him at the time. And I came home from school on a day that my mum was getting her injection for her mental health issues. And because her injections make her tired, when she got her injection, she got tired and stuff like that. And she decided that she was going to go to her bed because that's what she does. That's her routine. And Michael Duffy was relaxing on my mum's couch and he put his arm around my waist so I couldn't move. I couldn't get away. And while he had his arm around my waist, he ended up lying down on the couch. And as he lay on the couch, he then either fell asleep or pretended to fall asleep, but either way, I was uncomfortable and I couldn't move. And being 9 years old, I didn't have the strength to fight against him. And what happened then was he undone his zip and he took out his penis and started playing with himself. And while he was playing with himself, he then grabbed my left arm, my left wrist to be more precise, and he started pulling my hand towards him, towards his penis. And he tried to force me to touch him. And as hard as I was trying to pull away, I was also trying to find a pair of scissors that were under the sofa at the time. And if I had got a hold of those scissors, he wouldn't have had a penis left because I would have cut it off. I knew what he was doing was wrong. And I tried to defend myself. Because in that situation, for me, it was a life or death situation. In my young child mind, it was a life and death situation. I was abused as a child. And I was also accused of being a child abuser while I was a child. How can a child be a child abuser? It's impossible. You can't be a child abuser if you're a child. It's impossible. Children need better structure in their life and better manners, and their parents need to pay more fucking attention to them. Parents are neglecting their children mentally and emotionally. And that's a fact because they're too busy working. While they're working, their children are struggling and suffering with mental and emotional abuse from people at school, from teachers, from women, strangers outside. You wonder why people are suffering, why there's a lot of mental health issues. If anything, it's the businesses and the companies and the corporations and the law and the governments that are creating all the goddamn problems. So what are people going to do about it? You can't fight against people who have armies that are going to die to defend them. You can't fight against people who have the manpower to force you into a police cell and even put you in a prison where you get treated better than you do on the outside. On the outside, there's people struggling to even find something to eat. In prisons, especially young offenders, TV license, around about 50p to a pound. Food, 3 meals a day. A bed to sleep on, roof over your head, toilet, pool tables out on the fucking landing, education systems within the prisons. Like literally, women in jails, young offenders more specifically, they are far better than being on the outside. You're more free in prison than you are out of prison. When you're like, I've been in a young offenders and it was like a holiday to me. It wasn't a punishment, it was a fucking privilege. It wasn't a punishment. Well, you think that you're punishing people by putting them in prison. No, you're not. You're not punishing them. You're giving them exactly what they want. That's not punishment. That's privilege. Child abusers abuse children to get in trouble, so they'll go to jail. Rapists rape people, so they get in trouble and go to jail. Murderers murder people, so they get in trouble, go to jail. It's attention seeking. Rapists rape people because no one wants to sleep with them. And not just that, most of the time, it's mostly a fear of commitment to it. They're scared to find someone the right way. They're scared to connect to them and commit to them. Murderers murder people because, well, it's what they do. It's part of them. They just do it. Governments are the biggest murderers of all. And that's a fact as well. Governments are murderers. Anyone who kills another human being is a murderer. Anyone who aborts a child, whether they like it or not, they're a murderer. They might not agree with me, but there are billions out there that probably do. Before, when I was younger, I didn't really have a problem with women abortion. Right? Like, yeah, if a woman is raped and conceives a child through rape, yeah. If you don't want to keep it, abort it. Why would you want a painful reminder of what happened to you? But some people are against it. Some people are against it. But if you are raped, then yeah, you have valid ground to abort a child. But if you conceive a child through consent, planning, and even love, you have no right to abort that child. You shouldn't have a right to abort the child. The law shouldn't even allow it. Doctors shouldn't even allow it. Technically, they should pry into it. They should actually have an investigation before they even allow you to go through something like that, because it's murder. Whether you're a week pregnant, 2 weeks pregnant, 3 weeks pregnant, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far gone you are. You shouldn't have a right to abort a child if it is consensually put there. And the father should also get a right to have a say in if that child gets aborted or not. Because if it's their child and they want that child, you aborting that child, it's going to hurt them, it's going to break them. And for all you know, it could even ruin future relationships. Because if you're capable of aborting their child, then who else is capable of it? They're not going to risk women a relationship and having a child if women their child is at risk of being aborted. There's a lot of things that happen in this world that governments, police, governments, and law officials, women support and allow that are ridiculous. Armies are allowed to kill people, but yet women, the public aren't. Public people don't have a right to kill, but yet the army do. Armies go to other countries and kill people because they done it. That is literally like if somebody bullies you at school and you bully them back. It's the same process. You punch me, I punch you, sort of thing. Okay? It's ridiculous. It's immature. It's naive. It is like killing over pointless fucking material like gold. Yeah, gold. It's a fancy fucking metal rock. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a fucking metal rock. It's not worth dying for. It's not worth fighting for, and it's not worth having. Even money isn't even worth it. I would sooner starve to death than waste my time on earth working. I would rather die than work. I would rather die than lose out on quality time with my family. I'd rather die than lose out on quality time with my pets, my friends. Like, yeah, I'm not brave enough to kill myself, but if push comes to shove, I could easily starve myself to death. Very easily. No one can force you to eat. They're not allowed to. If you don't want to live, no one can force you to. And that is actually a fact. There's a lot of children in the past that have taken their lives. There's a lot of children in this world that have killed themselves. For what? Because of other kids bullying them. Because feeling like they're not good enough. Feeling like they're complete failures. Feeling like their family don't care, their family don't understand, or because their imaginative ways of being, women, they're considered as women, what, immature. Even adults living an imaginary fucking way of life. Success does not come from money. Success does not come from women driving a fancy car and living in a big house. Success isn't about what other people, women, think of you. Success is more about what you think of yourself. Success could be anything from making a roll up to playing a video game. Success can come easy. You don't need money to be successful. Because as long as you live with love in your heart, you're already successful. As long as you live with love in your heart and determination to push through, no matter how hard it gets, you're already successful. It doesn't matter about the fancy jobs. It doesn't matter about the fancy cars, the fancy house. If a person loves you for who you are, they don't care about your finances. That's fact. If they love you, they don't. If they love you for who you are, they don't care if you're rich. They don't care if you're poor. They don't care if you're mentally ill or anything. They care about you. They love you for who you are. Your temper, everything. Just everything that makes you who you are, they will love, regardless of your status in life. That's what love is. Love is more about just being there for each other. People who live in poverty know more about love than people who are rich. Because in reality, people who are rich, is it really them that are loved in the relationships, or is it the money? I'd rather be poor and be loved than be rich and be used for money. I'd rather be loved for who I am than be used for my financial status. I'm on benefits. I'm on benefits, and yet, woman, if a rich woman, woman, fell in love with me, I'd love her unconditionally, not even really caring about her finances. Yeah, we could live a life of fucking luxury, but at the same time, just sharing it with that person would make it worth it. I'd rather live in a world full of love, kindness, compassion, and consideration for others than this primitive blooming way we're living of survival of the fittest. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter if you're fit or unfit. It doesn't matter whether you're capable of working or not capable of working. As long as you're capable of loving someone and capable of being loved, then your life is worth living. No matter what other people think or say. And that's the facts. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're mentally ill. It doesn't matter if, women, you're capable of working or not capable of working. As long as you're capable of loving someone and capable of being loved, capable of caring for someone else and being cared for, that's all that matters. That's all that really matters, is love. Love is more important than money. That's true. Love is more important than money. Like, there's lots of stuff that I wish I could have, but I would trade it all just for someone to love me for who I am. If I had a fancy house and a fancy car and shitloads of money, I would trade it all just for that one person. You see, I've not found the right person for me. Like, yeah, throughout my life, I've loved and lost. I've loved a lot and lost a lot. But yet, I still keep going on. I still keep living my life. No matter of my moods, no matter of my emotions. I keep pushing on. Because what keeps me going, what stops me from taking my own life, is knowing that somewhere out there in the world, there's someone who needs my love. That's what keeps me going. There's someone out there that needs my love, and I need theirs. There's someone that needs my hugs, and I need theirs. There's someone out there that needs me, and I need them. That's what keeps me going. That's what helps me pull myself out of bed, whether it's day or night. Like, yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me that they love me, but none of them have actually proven it. None of them stuck by me through the good times and the bad times. The very minute the shit hits the fan, they run. That's not love. The very minute arguments break out, they run. That's not love. And half of the time, it's them that start the argument with me. And yet they run. I've been lied to, I've been cheated on, I've been used, I've been abused. I have lived the life of hell. I've used drugs as a coping strategy, self-harming as a coping strategy. Even my passion for music, my love for music ended up becoming a coping strategy. A coping strategy to help me get through my turmoils inside. Because I'm not really fussed on when I die or how I die. Like, I know it's gonna come someday. I may not know when, but I know it's gonna come someday. The reality of life is it's not so much what you make it. People say your life is what you make it, but from my point of perspective, life is what others make it for you. If you look at all the famous people out there, yeah, they might have took the first steps to get themselves recognized. But at the same time, if it wasn't for all their followers, all their viewers, they wouldn't have the money that they have. They wouldn't have the life they have without their fans, without their followers, without their viewers. Their life is all thanks to the people that they've connected with. Without their fans, without their followers, they're just people. Like you and me, they're just people. Not just that, kings and queens are actually more selected by the people than they are born for that role. So look at Scotland. Scotland no longer has a queen because, oh, an English queen killed the Scottish one. All because of love, to be honest. Like the stories that I grew up with, like when it came to when the Queen of Scotland getting her head chopped off, it was because when she was having an affair. She was sleeping with when well, I say sleeping with, I don't know for a fact, but I assume sleeping with when the English Queen's husband. And off with the head it came because woman, yeah, if you've got power to women send someone to their death, then yeah, them getting in your personal life, you're gonna use that, aren't you? But there's a difference between using power for personal gain and using power to help your people gain. For one thing, if I was of royal birth, if I sat on a throne, I wouldn't let politicians make the decisions for me. I wouldn't trust them. They'd be like this. They would be like the serpent that convinced Adam and Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge. If I was of royal birth, I would trust my instincts. I would trust my gut, and I would trust the people who trust me to lead them. And not just that, I would love the people that trust me to lead them. If I was a leader, love would be a priority. If I was a leader, if I could make laws, I would make it a law that you had to love each other, care for each other, be there for each other, help each other. I would make it a law that you have to be there for each other, stand by each other, care for each other. And most importantly, don't judge each other. Don't judge each other on things that you don't agree with. If you don't agree on something, then does it really matter? No. It only matters if you agree on it. I know there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me. But for all those who do agree with me, I would very appreciate it if you could like my video, share my video, and even comment on my video. If there's anyone out there that agrees with me, then stand up with me. Let's get our opinions and our voices heard. Let's give the people with power a real challenge. Let's put these people to the test. Let's put them through a test of proving what they say to be true or false. If they can't prove it, it's a lie. If they can prove it, it's true. If you want to know if God is real and you want to know if the devil is real, let's all find out together. And if there's no such thing as God and there's no such thing as the devil, then people have to take more responsibility for what they do and say. Because there's nothing worse than believing in something that isn't real. But yeah, peace out, everyone, and I give you all my love and all the best. And I hope that you can all find something that makes you happy and something that gives your life meaning and purpose. And if this video inspires anyone, I'm glad I could help. If it helps anyone, always remember your life matters and you are important, even if others don't see it. They're just blind by their own paranoid delusions. They're blinded by greed, selfishness. Peace, everyone.